I firmly believe that the most important skill in fitness is the ability to track macronutrients. Unfortunately, there aren't many apps out there that have good equations for doing this. Yes, I know MyFitnessPal and Lose It and whatever else is out there, but I don't like any of those apps. I don't like the equations they use. I don't like that they use body weight instead of lean mass to calculate BMR. I don't like the multipliers they use. I don't think they come up with accurate numbers based on weight, height, gender, age, body fat percentage goals. I don't like any of the equations. And I hate that I'm constantly being upsold to the premium version every chance they have to get me on the app. So I created an app that solves this problem. No, it's not revolutionary. It's not changing the way that tracking macros or fitness or fat loss is done, but what it does is it takes my custom equations that I trust more than anything else, and it makes them free and accessible for the public. So rather than answering 20 emails a day saying, like, I would have protein about here, calories in this range, I can just say, check out this app, these are my equations, use them. Let's back up. What does this app do? It makes my equations public. It gives you the ability to track and monitor progress, meaning intake, how close you've been on hitting your macros versus what your targets are. Progress pictures, body weight measurements. Those are all trackable, and there will be features in version 1 and then better features to come that allow you to look in graph form at how you are doing. What the app doesn't do, there is not a food database. It would have been like 4 times as expensive as the app currently costs me to license a good food database. Further, I think it's hard to put together a good food database because a food database that has a ton of options almost has to have the ability for the user to add things. But when you give the user the ability to add things, it takes away from the accuracy and validity of the database. So there isn't a food database. If you want a food database, I totally get that. Don't use this. Or just use it to figure out what my equations would say for you, and then be on your way with an app that uses a food database. In that vein, we're not cutting. This is a one-take video. In that vein, coming up with an estimate is just that. It is an estimate. And regardless of how, I'm not saying my equations are going to be right. In fact, they probably won't. But they're going to give you a better starting point than anything else I know of. What you need to do is you need to track intake, you need to track body weight and measurements, and adjust your calories up or down based on progress. However, and this is important, I have had people who wanted to start tracking their intake. They switched over. Instead of doing this random detox or this random cleanse or only eating clean foods, they were going to give this macro thing a try that they heard about on the internet. Because the first calculator they ever used gave them an intake that was blatantly too high for fat loss, they stuck to it. They didn't see any progress after 2 or 3 weeks, and they bailed to do Gwyneth Paltrow's lemon celery thing. If they had used an equation that at least got them close, so they would have started to see results, that is one person who the future of their fitness and ability to control their own health and well-being changes by having access to better equations. So while I don't think special magic equations do that much, I think they are more important than many people think. While assessing how you are doing is most important and making those modifications based on that, having a good starting point is also important. That's it. If you want more details, jump in the blog post that is linked below in the description. Download the app. It's just for Apple. If you don't have an Apple product, you can't be friends. No, I wasn't going to hire 2 developers, right? This is coming out of my pocket. I'm not making any money whatsoever off the app. So because most people use iPhone, that's what we went with. If you have an Android or something else, shoot me an email and I'll fucking do your macros for you. But all right, that's it. That's the video. Done.